Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Hot Take with Mr. H. I'm Mr. H, and today I brought one of my good friends with me, partner, Tom Brady of food trucks, etc., Mr. Jerry Leal. The crowd goes wild.
Thank you, G.
Talk
I'm
to
very
us, baby.
excited. I'm very excited to
Talk
be
to
here.
us.
I know it's been a minute. We've been working on scheduling this for a while, and now we're here.
Diva. This guy is a diva. That's what he is.
He's lying.
His schedule's all hectic, so we were able to finally come to an agreement on a time and a place and a date. So now we're here, guys. But for the people that don't know, who is El Jerry?
I mean, these days he's a food trucker. So I'm a food trucker and a mobile real estate consultant, and that's in short who I am. You'll find me at some of the cooler festivals in Texas. I have some awesome clients that we're helping scale through food trucks and try new concepts. So it's just a food trucker.
For the people that don't know, talk to them about what events do you do and what clients do you have?
Yeah, so locally we try to focus on farmers markets a lot to test speed and test a lot of the techniques that we try to apply in the bigger events that you'll find us at that come around every once in a while in Austin, Texas, right? So locally you'll find us at farmers markets and pop-ups. And then in Austin, you'll see us at Circuit of Americas and at UT at some of the larger events, NASCAR, Formula One, MotoGP. Then we're going to be doing the Le Mans race and a lot of their major concerts this year. So you'll see us performing for higher volume up there.
Now you have a contract with the University of Texas to be there on the football games and at the baseball games?
Yeah. So they just jump you around depending on the need and that good stuff. So
where's my ticket at?
I'm looking for mine too. My only way in is to work.
That's it. I'm gonna go in there with you. I'll be a cashier.
Hey man, we're always hiring pickup staff, especially for Austin.
I'm down. I was able to work one Formula One, and just off the tips, it was $2,000 for one day.
He disappeared and
then after that, I was gone. I didn't.
Where'd he go?
Back.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was just. I just needed one day. That's all. Probably spent it that night anyway.
That's what they said.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
but that's what they said. Yeah, it's good times. How many food trucks do you have?
Not enough.
That's the spirit. That's it right there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know we got a little more than 20 right now in the organization. So, I mean, our goal is, we're just going with the flow, we're going where the attention's at and where the need is at for it. And, I mean, we have the capacity to grow quick, but, I mean, we're just taking it as the service is as we're following the need, I guess, because ambition-wise, I mean, I want 1,000 of them, but it's more about the people we're building up. Because the trucks don't do anything without capable operators. So we're just taking it one operator at a time. We're more proud of the operators that we have that are staying consistent and in the system than the trucks that we got. Because, they go hand in hand. It starts with them.
So it's about the quality, not the quantity.
In a sense, because here, quality is going to lead to quantity, right? Unless they want to scale into a restaurant, you have guys with 2-3 trucks that say, my focus was to operate these for some cash flow to, turn around this project. And then there's others that just fall in love with it and want to just keep growing through that food truck thing, which they tie us into. We make accessibility to a food truck quicker, financially more convenient than buying one outright. So that leads to us having to acquire another unit, as we did for one of our great partners, GW Barbecue, who's about to unveil a beast of a food truck. That's how we grow. The more success they have and the more passionate they grow for this service on wheels, we just try to fuel it with just some good business opportunities and just, further outlook than what their restaurant might provide as far as taking their product out and testing the waters in other markets or just marketing purposes.
Nice.
We keep them excited.
Now, what's the pros and cons of having a food truck?
The cons is not working with us.
And
the pros is you might run into us and we'll have some fun on wheels.
You might make the list.
Nah, there's lists out there that I want to make too,
Yeah.
So there's always somebody doing cooler things, but I'm just trying to outdo my last effort and all that, those things that lead to growth. But what was your question again? What was
the
that?
pros and cons of a food truck. But before you go on,
there's no cons. There's no cons. I think everything has its season, right? And I think the cons are, well, you might hit some bad weather. But I think the pro that outweighs it all is just having control of your livelihood, being able to take that unit home, You know, I mean, there'd be days that I'd spend hours and hours just sitting in there, and it would give me the satisfaction that I didn't know where it came from. But as I grew to understand, it was just the control that I have my baby there that I can hitch up. It's my tool bag per se, right? And you feel good about your tools. You clean them up different. You know, when it's a restaurant, you got to make the drive to it and all that stuff. I mean, I'd love to have a restaurant. I'm just not capable, right? To do it the way I see people doing it right are. So I stay in my lane, right? But I respect the grind that it takes to do that, and then I see the different simplicities that mine bring to the table. But I understand the upside as well. You know, you're not gonna see certain flow, but then again, you can depending where you're into. So you know, there's just a lot of back and forth depending on your commitment. I love that it does give you what you put in for the most part.
But that's anything though. That's any business.
Más o menos, you know. Right here, you don't have to wait perfect time, perfect area. You can drive to one and pay to be there for a little bit without the long-term commitment or potential downside of being chained down to a certain location, such as a brick and mortar, you know. Can't just rip it off and then take it to Formula One to market ourselves, to remind people we have something cool going on and come back, you know. So pros and cons, like ninjas per se. One of the cons right now is, okay, we did all this noise in Austin, but where can they go find us right now? You know? So the con is we can't find that corner that I'm sometimes saying it's easy. For a concept like ours, we need a lot of elbow room for success, a lot of elbow room for clients and all that stuff that we know that it brings once it gets going. So, you know, a lot of variables, but those are the things that excite me, because I feel these challenges just further my development of understanding, you know, market and just, I guess, economic flow when it comes to the food trucking industry. So, I mean, no me agüito. I just said that's where I chose. When it comes to the cons, I love troubleshooting a food truck. It's a lot easier than a restaurant. You know, it's not underground. You can unplug it, deal with it. You can't unplug a whole restaurant, you know. So again, my respects to the restaurant guys. I just really like the nickel and dime game that I chose to play in this game. So that's it. It's my play calling.
Well, I have a brick and mortar. I have a 12,000 square foot, not house, but a restaurant.
Yeah, what do you serve?
Yeah, we serve a buffet, array of delights, over 400 items. Golden Corral.
Golden Corral.
Yes, sir,
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Those have been around for a while, huh?
You know, since 1973. But
I've heard of you.
bit.
I've heard of you guys.
Yeah.
Great credibility right there.
Crew. Yeah. So, what I'm saying is that I've done both. During the pandemic, I was shut down. So what I have to do? I looked for food trucking. Now I had no experience. So guess who I call? I see this gentleman right here, and I gave him a call, and we already kind of knew each other, so we kind of like just hit it off very well, and together we were able to get 15 trucks.
Yeah.
Or a little bit more.
12 and a half.
12 and a half, yeah. And a trailer, 12 and a trailer.
Yeah, there we go.
All of ours are drivable, but, you know, kudos to this guy. He was able, you know, he opened up to me. He let me know everything. He gave me all his resources. And together we were able to do some things. We were able to be out there in the Circuit of Americas. We were out there South by Southwest.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
That was really cool.
That was really cool. They put us in the shittiest spot in the corner. But hey,
David.
I'm a hustler. David Noku, I know you hate me. It's okay though. I love you.
He doesn't hate you.
No.
He doesn't hate you.
No, I know he was doing his job.
Yeah.
He was real hard on attending. I told him to take a break because I understand how it is.
Yeah.
With the COVID going on, it was just very bad. But they put us in a bad spot. But either way, I'll show you a picture. I'll put it down here. People weren't coming to me. So guess what? I pulled out a speaker. I pulled out a mic. And I invited any artist that wanted to talk their shit or put their rap or they wanted to be heard to come down and rap or sing or whatever they wanted, talk their shit. And it became a big spot at the end. We had D-Baby from San Antonio come out twice and some dudes from Houston. And it was just a block party. It was so fun. I was just out there, you know, inviting everybody.
Yeah, I'd never seen anything like that. That was one of the cool things that we can jot down as, you know, a food truck can present itself. Because I mean, how else would we be able to set up at a pop up like that or just squeeze in to do business? So I think that's a pro of food trucking. One that I did miss is that in food trucking, we're able to set someone as their own boss almost immediately with a lot less due diligence than making them a business owner of a brick and mortar. You know, I can. Right now, we can go outside, and I just came back from a catering. You know, we have a discussion that's well laid out enough. You're a partner or you're a sole operator, right? because I have those means to do that for someone, and I've just fallen in love with being able to have the capacity to change someone's life that way through what I do, right? Because the hardest thing someone will do is work for themselves. We've grown to learn that, and it's becoming more evident as time goes by. People are becoming more aware. They want things are going to be changing, and for me, I have this access into the guys that aren't, trade skilled electricians or plumbers or even chefs. You don't need to be. I stress this over and over. When it comes to food trucking, you don't need to be a chef. I don't consider myself a chef. I just do simple things with grace, and I just talk good to the customer. I try to source the best products so it does more of the work for us, and just try not to reinvent the wheel, as I say over and over again. Pro.
So, I've been very different seminars, leadership classes, and I got to meet Gary Vee. Shout out Gary Vee. And one thing he told me, because back then I didn't have social media, I wasn't really a fan of it, or I didn't understand it. But he said, if you're a plumber, electrician, doctor, attorney, restaurant owner, you have to be a marketer. Nowadays, you have to put yourself out there. And that's one thing that I see you do very well. What made you get into marketing?
I think it was just a necessity to want to grow. I had to really check myself as to where my deficiencies laid, when it came to the industry that I was in. And I saw that I had a great product. I had a concept that that lined up environmentally from where it was being, I guess, sold out of. I was just not capable to connect the full circle and hit that marketing aspect when it came to creating content, like from scratch and all these entertainment videos. So I said, okay, well, the little that I do need to do, or the little that I will do, is just, by all means, keep food trucking looking like the best thing you want to do, even if it's not for a career, but to try it out. So just make sure that I packaged enough enthusiasm to stay relevant and exciting for people to want to see what's next, or whatever you want to see what's next, good or bad.
I think that's how you get contacts. That's how you get referrals.
Yes, and that's how they would find me. And it does the vergüenza, right? Because I'm getting older and stuff. I'm not the 30-year-old guy in the food truck, I'm way closer to 40.
Oof.
So I'm like, it doesn't make me nervous, but like it's going to change. And that's where I'm like, okay, let me put myself out there, get people excited about it, and then find the next me to take over what I'm doing in a way, and then just keep pumping it out like that, making it a fun concept. I look up to the people. I mean, I have mentors down here, such as yourself, who own major chains that I have aspirations of my truck turning into, whether it be through concession stands or restaurants or food trucks, who knows? But I know by staying around people like yourself, Mr. Fred Del Barrio, the Lozanos, people who are in the major food chain industry, that I can call and be like, hey, what does it look like I'm doing wrong here? And you guys just hit it on the head from your experience. I mean, it's pretty exciting to put those resources into work, just to keep seeing it turn around. But again, at the end of the day, staying realistic to like the times are changing. And I know that I need to start investing in technology and stuff to stay relevant when it comes to marketing. Because I see these guys, I mean, you'll see a hot dog stand in the middle of nowhere have 1 million followers on their social media. But the revenue doesn't always match, but they have that attention from all over. And it's only a matter of time before the money catches up. It's really hard the other way around, like, I don't know how to put it. Like, yeah, you can grind, but if people
nobody's
don't know,
noticing you,
dang, you got to throw some little lead out there, something to catch fire. And you can't overthink it, trying to make it look like a Matrix movie. It can be just as simple as holding your phone and just like, hey, I'm seeing those hot dogs. That'll start a wildfire. But it's just breaking through that and starting that. That was the harder part.
One thing that caught my attention from that leadership seminar was that Gary Vee said that, he brought up Pornhub.
Yeah.
Pornhub, well, you can't see it now in Texas. Sorry, guys. But it was, out of all the websites in the world, it was the top 5. And out of the categories that they had, it wasn't big ass, big tits. It was amateur. People want to see the realness. So,
Oh, that was... That's crazy.
But you see where I'm going with this? Like, people,
I didn't see where you were going,
No,
but
okay.
I mean, I landed there.
You landed there. You're
Wow.
there now, okay?
Wow.
But it's because people want the perfect picture, the perfect caption. Post. You know, at the end of the day, you post.
Man,
Good, bad.
that is wild.
You're going to have some good ones. You're going to have some bad ones, but always post.
Yeah.
Be out there. 80% of the consumers, you know, go to their phone and see what they're going to eat or where they're going to eat based off what they see. So people eat with their eyes one time, and then they come and they eat at your restaurant or food truck, and then they eat again with their eyes.
And with the food truck, there's nothing more that they do than eat with their eyes, because when they're walking up to it, I mean, they see the whole thing. When you walk up to a restaurant, I mean, you don't see the full box. You don't see its whole, right? Not in one vueltita like that, right? So they're able to see your kitchen, and you gotta
market, baby. Market.
Give them something nice to look at. You know, we like to put steel on the ceilings. That way there's a nice light toxicity in there, so that the food is more elaborate. People are able to see the steam as we're pushing it out. These details that I didn't know unless I'd, you know, put myself out there enough to be like, hey man, to get the criticism. People telling me, you might want to add more lighting, it'll help this. You might want to add more this or that. You know, this will help your volume. This will help the aesthetic. Pues, you know, it is what it is. But if and it's about how you take that feedback too. You can't take anything as an attack. Not if you want to continue to grow. No matter how on point certain things may be, you got to have grace. And I think that's one of the best things to, you know, self-control, también not being impulsive, responding. I like to respond to that stuff with just more. Tell me more. Okay, cool. But not in a bad way. I'm like, okay, but can you please be more elaborate as to the situation so that I really get to the bottom of it? Whether it's a bad customer or not, it's going to train you and prepare you for something else. And that mindset was everything for me. And when I saw the whole blow up of people wanting to follow our lead, because more than anything, when you deal with inspectors, no matter if you're right, they might be having a bad day and they're going to make it seem like you are dead wrong. So just to have that self-control, to be like, okay, how do I navigate that attention to still get this done, right? Was a lot of practice that I was not successful in initially, but then I had to just swallow the responsibility of it has to be this way to get what you want done. And those 10 minutes of delighting these people in a sense of just, and it's verbally, just like, yes, sir, no, ma'am, yes, sir, right?
Don't say more than you have to,
just
guys.
shut the hell up.
Just shut up.
Shut up.
Yeah.
We'll open the door for the next 10 years of business, you know?
And it's very hard for this guy to do that.
Man, so what I'm telling you, shut up, man. It means shut up.
That's it.
So, yeah, you know, listen.
Don't say no more. Don't say no less.
Not who's got the upside, right? So they might have that control, but you have everything to win if you just don't trigger these people. You know, let them do their job. They deal with a lot of headaches throughout the day. A food truck does not need to be one of them. Keep it as neat and easy to understand for them when it comes to things like that. Even when it comes to clients, they want it simple. So if you come to me, you're like, man, I want to open a food truck. Okay, well, it's $1,000 deposit and $850 a month. Is the truck ready for inspection? Absolutely. It's got your fire extinguishers tagged, your suppression systems. You're good to go. Well, what if I have a problem with applications? I'm like, well, that consulting is included. That's insane. That means you're just...
We need to add the consultation fee.
And we do. When it's a technical market, such as Austin, Houston, South Padre Island, where we really need to do some digging to kind of give you clarity on like, yo, this is not a typical just show up, pay to play. There's zoning and certain rules that apply that are very strict, and unlike anything else, that coaching and bringing the people up to understanding does take a lot of time and energy. So that's where the consulting comes into play.
Give me 5 different ways to open up a food truck, or not ways, but 5 different tips on how to open up a food truck.
So my first tip, my mistake was jumping into a food truck right away. It wasn't a mistake, right? It led up to a lot of growth, but there's so many different ways to test the concept and to more than anything, test yourself. If you can put up with packaging, organizing yourself, and it's through pop-ups, a 10 by 10 tent and a table, little banner, that's like $250 worth of stuff for you to set up and just start. Versus me, that I had a lot of cloudiness in I guess at the time, that I couldn't really think straight. Impulsively, I guess I put my Camaro transformer as collateral just to get some cash so that I can execute on this idea. but again, I had a lot of things going on in my life before that led me to be able to move that way, right? Versus someone who's going to be a first-time business owner and all that stuff. They don't have this background the way I did. So my advice to them would be, depending on what you're selling, start either out of your house, out of the back of your car, or out of a farmer's market. Test your product, give it a good 6 months to a year. There's no need to rush something that's going to change your life. Replay that over and over. There's no need to rush something that's going to change your life. It's going to come to you. If you want to rush, do more gigs. But feeling of flusterness and a sense of apurado is not going to change anything. You want to rush, put miles on the wheels.
You might even look bad doing that.
You do. I made the mistake both like full circle, right? I've done it right 20 different ways and done it right consistently to be like, man, we could have done it a little differently. Such trucks that we overbrand, that we wrap all the way because of good conversation, and then we're having to unwrap it 2 months later. We don't even recover the design fees, right? So learning to kind of chill when doing things like that is one of the things that I would take it slower, market research. Go out there. For example, you're in the valley, tacos are popular, Mexican snacks, corn, spiro papas. All right. There's a lot of research that can be done these days compared to what I could do when I started, right? And then just overall your goals. There's so many food truckers now and big platforms that you can influence from that'll kind of help you pull back the curtain on what type of trucker or business owner you want to be when it comes to that industry. So the research, right? I know I'm kind of going off of it, but those are top things to do. Money management, learn how to keep track of your receipts using apps. It's one of the mistakes that I made. I had a lot going on, was all over the place, learned a couple of hard lessons because of it. But now, 2026, you have apps that'll help you keep track of all the spending, and that'll really give you a gauge of, are you a business or, you're just throwing money down the drain. I would make that mistake a lot. I wouldn't look at my bank account, right? Everything's good. So get used to doing that type of stuff. Become friends with your accountant, right? When it's time to file. I mean, if you want to blow up, they're going to be there with you most of the time. So, and just keep good mentorship around you. Reach out to people, ask questions. I mean, the way I feel we reach out to each other for different things, sin vergüenza, because if it's somebody that's out there doing things, they know that when it comes to growth, if we're already having a conversation with you, we somewhat know what kind of person you are. So we understand and expect that there's going to be some questions that sound might feel dumb to ask, but you're new, so it's okay, right? As long as you don't ask me what color is that red sign, come on, right? But you know what I'm talking about. It's just in general, like that questions del desarrollo, it's absolutely fine, right? How do I check the tires for pressure? If he's never done it, have some patience, right? It's okay. Not where's the thing to check the tire for pressure, my friend. Right. Yeah. There's a huge difference, right? Like that trigger, right? So yeah, not being afraid to ask questions, and then just taking the initiative to apply that feedback. Because I've given people, I'm sure you have as well. Yeah, I know that. I mean, you've
every day.
No, you've been an amazing partner. You've been there, more than any of these cameras will ever capture. You've been there through a lot of big headaches, and I know you help out a lot of people. Y'all need to stay in touch with Mr. H. If you owe him money, pay the man. At least stay in touch. You owe him that courtesy. Because I'm sure I remember how y'all walked in and asked him for help with your next big idea. I'm sure there's people.
$1 million ideas.
Yeah, there's a great guy right here. There's very few like him. And his door's always open. You just communicate with him. So I just felt like I needed to put that out there because you've been a real one for me. You've helped me out of a lot of stuff. And I mean, I'm a big part of, you're a big part of who I am because of, 2019, 2020, 2021. You were super supportive, even though we didn't know where the hell we were going. You lied to me and told me we were going somewhere. So
we're going up, baby.
We're going up.
That's it.
That's
that
sign right there.
That sign. I have that sign right there. So it's pointing up because we're going up.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, I think those are certain takeaways from this industry. And don't overwhelm yourself trying to create the next McDonald's overnight. It can happen overnight, but it has to be in a selfless way, right? Like the powers that be know what's up. So practice that intent, right? Just practice it, and you'll start seeing good things happening around you as they have for me. And I have the faith that they're not going to stop because I'm going to continue to do these good things to help others and do all that stuff. selflessly in a way, just to keep this whole thing going.
Now, we're talking about marketing. You were able to get on the Texas monthly bucket list?
Yeah, Texas bucket list, yeah.
Texas bucket list. Talk to us about that.
Same way, we were just putting up posts and hashtag Texas and all these things, and it just popped up on their feed. And the timing couldn't have been better. It was at the end of 2018. No, was it 2019? We were about to enter our third year, 2020, right? So the recording was done right before the pandemic. And obviously we had the pandemic, so they didn't release it spring break or April. It got released late May when they had just reopened the economy, I guess. And that just set off like a wildfire. That on top of the people's urge to want to get out, it just happened. But again, it wasn't me thinking, oh, this is going to blow me up. I'm like, awesome. There's another lead for people to know that we exist. If one human, we catch on one, es ganancia, right? And that's just the mentality. Every bit of content that we put out, I'm going to meet someone new because of it. Nice to meet you.
Also, I mean, that's a big deal. It could change your life. I mean, we spoke about GW earlier.
Yeah.
They got top 5 out of 50 best barbecue joints. So, I mean, his store's been booming ever since. It's hard to get in there. It's like a 30-minute wait.
It is, man.
I want my barbecue, George.
Yeah, it's easier to get like ringside at like a Floyd Mayweather fight in the
For
early
real.
2000s.
Yeah,
but that's a good thing. And again, the responsibility to maintain that demand. They've been doing an excellent job. Very, very proud to call them clients. We have Suerte Bar and Grill. We have Starlight. We have Prado Steaks. I mean, we work with some very, very cool characters with some awesome stories, of just perseverance and just resilience and keeping going and just building legacy, and then people who want to build legacy. We see the guys that are doing it, the guys that are on their way to it, the guys that are on the start. So that's pretty cool.
In my earlier podcast, I brought up the lobster kids, lobster cone kids.
That's fun.
And those kids are 18. They have 0 or very close to 0 experience.
Negative zero
experience. But those kids, what they do have, they have energy. They're always marketing. They're always hustling. They're trying to figure out a way. They when they first time they met me, they're like, "Hey, sirs, also I heard you own the Golden Corral. Do you need help with the roofing, or you want me to clean?" Like, these kids are already putting themselves out there trying to make some money off me. I'm like, hey, well, hold on. Like,
yeah, and that energy is awesome because it's stuff that I'm so far removed from because of the age gap that I'm like, yo, this is the way they're doing it now. So it helps stay a little relevant because of that way. They're not scared. Like
but kids, like the regular kids that age of 18 and 20.
That's unnatural, right? They normally like that.
No, they're not like that. So these kids,
they're good.
They're good. Yeah,
they're good,
keep them.
Yeah, no, it was excellent.
Keep them under and
we just came back from MotoGP. We had an excellent experience. They learned a lot, and so did I. And we're gonna package it back up, and we're gonna be doing F1 and all those cool things up in COTA. So I'm excited for the future together. They all have independent goals of their own, but I said if we can hang out a couple times a year with this concept at COTA and do this dance called the Lobster Cone Co., why not, right?
Okay, so if there's a client that calls you right now, says, I need 1,000 plates by tomorrow at 5 o'clock, what do you tell them?
What do you want in them?
There you go.
Yeah.
Figure out a way.
Come on.
Easy money.
Of course. Look at that. I'm already excited. I'm like, give it to me.
What do we ask God for?
The smoke.
We don't ask God for money. We ask him for opportunities.
Opportunity. That's it.
And when we pray back in the day, you already forgot.
People say, si Dios quiere, if he woke you up, ya quiso. The rest is on you. That's it. I mean,
he can't do all the work for you.
What more do you want?
Yeah.
Right? Be very grateful that we're not dealing with a lot of the challenges that people out there are dealing with that have no solution, or that it's just, they're very distracting circumstances. We all don't have that excuse. And a lot of us that try to use it is because we let ourselves into it. It did not happen overnight. I've made the mistake myself. I've had to redirect my lifestyle because me achiflao, but I can say it like that, right? And a lot of people have not learned how to take that little accountability that will, not overnight, but it'll change your life faster than it took for it to get fucked.
Nothing is overnight, guys. There's no magic pill. There's no easy button.
Your attitude can change instantly, but the circumstance will take time. And when it changes, it's just
patience and positivity.
And just surround yourself around things that remind you to keep your head locked in on those things, because I get caught up too. We're doom scrolling, and by the time you know it, you've looked through 20 pointless memes over one influential or impactful thing to really look through. So just auditing yourself and I think it's just part of growing up. As you get older, you have these moments and you start understanding who you are, what distracts you, what you like, and just take the bull by the horns and just say, like, shit, I gotta take care of this, like this. Everything will get better for you. You know yourself enough to know what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing. And, it's 2026. We have so much access to things that can help us.
ChatGPT and
Come on,
all
man. You
these
put together,
AIs.
help me change my life in 30 days, and it'll tell you things like that. Again, no one is perfect, but there's adjustments that can always be made that'll lead to a change. And again, I mean, I'd love to be playing baseball or owning a major league franchise. I always feel I'm capable of a lot of things, but the satisfaction that food trucking has been able to give me, I'm either finding it when I'm going to cook, or I'm dealing with a food trucker or a permit or something. Like, it's a high, and it's all day. From the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, it's about food trucks, and I love it. Like, it's not always good news, right? But it's these moments when they call you freaking out that you're able to give them a solution to something, that you just feel that energy where they're like, damn, this guy's good. And I love trying to be the guy that figures it out for them, so that they keep me in that, like, that's the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Category.
The clutch. Like, yeah, I'm going to freak out, but I'm not going to leave. I'm not going to say we're not going to cook. That'll never happen. Like, we will find a way. Maybe not right now, right? But I just the kids, I say, the kids messed it up for me. I used to say, hey, everybody just chill, right? But the kids, they say, chill. I had some crazy fires, per se, right? This past weekend at GP that I've never seen in my life. I had the hardest day I've ever had in food trucking. And with nothing taken, it was a crazy day, right? The kids would look at me, they're like, just chill. And I'm like, burning up, because I don't think they could reason with how serious the situation was,
They
right?
don't understand it.
And it was beautiful to have that there while I'm freaking out internally, right? Trying not to show it. Even, bro, I had an ice bag, like a 50-pound ice bag in the back of my neck.
I saw that picture.
Bro, it was on my neck for about an hour. Like, I was getting neck burn, and I hate the cold, I hate the ice, but I literally needed to chill because it was challenges I'd never seen. But I was terco that I was not going to let them win until I figured it out. And I literally had to almost take a full food truck apart from a certain area to accept that I wasn't crazy, and that it was a technical issue, a safety feature in the unit, because of the way it was shipped or anything like that. Figured it out. But them being there saying, just chill, I'm like, this is crazy. It felt like a movie, and I'm like,
the student became the teacher that day.
Man, right? But then again, we figured out a way to still produce. Had we not, it would have been extremely financially detrimental. Extremely, and the timing could not have been better. But we figured it out. I feel more capable. Next time I go through what we call the furry, I'm going to be like, well, I've experienced something like this. But you never, the fuckery, right? But you're never done learning. And that's why I say, like, I was being recorded at that time, and I was looking at the camera and I said, I want the smoke. I mean, what else am I going to say?
Bring it.
Si yo me cago, what the hell? Where does it leave the other guys, right? So I'm not going to say no. I'm like,
you can't show it as a...
Hell no.
As a leader, you can't show you're stressing, that you're sad, that of that.
I'm going to let it know that I'm... But... No, they know. They know. No, they knew. Yeah. They knew. But the thing is, pues no me culié, no me oír, no nada. And I'm going to keep digging and just looking at it until I freaking figure it out. And it's not I was taking shit apart and really digging into that inner trucker. And I'm like, well, this is going to be a good one for the movie. Truck. Damn it, son. My eye was twitching and everything. But we got it going, and we salvaged the whole thing. And I learned something new. And it's not the last thing I'm going to learn. And I said, I'd rather have it Friday of MotoGP than Sunday of Formula One. Because those things are not inevitable. They will happen. So I'm glad it happened that way. My reflex will be like, that's the troubleshoot. Have emergency equipment, more capable of just filling in for those type of things. So that's awesome. You know, those kids, that attitude, that rubs off, and it helps keep me excited for it. What is it? Podcast too. Every time we do a new one, you know, we're able to find people with with an interest in it. So every new conversation about hearing something they did in their past that got them motivated, like, oh, I did this and my mom told me it was the best thing in the world. And I think it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Not only were you on Texas Monthly, you also got invited to a cooking show.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to us about that.
Yeah, it was a Gordon Ramsay cooking show. But
yeah.
I didn't do it because it was 3 months of filming. And it was going to be May, June, July of 2021 after we had just started blowing up. Like heavy. 2022, I believe. So we couldn't do it then. And that's because they were giving me like special privileges to be able to like leave once a week to come and check on the business. They modified the contract 20 different ways. But due to how sensitive everything was and the growth of the business, it was just too risky. I hadn't developed enough leadership to leave someone behind that much space between both of us, right? And I didn't know how to ask for help, right? So I was like, nah, I'll just ride it through. But I mean, I stayed in contact with them. We tried doing it again the following year. Couldn't because of the same thing. Scheduling, I think I had just gotten into some other stadiums. So I said at the end of the day, it's because I'm producing. It's not because we're avoiding it. And you can see where we're at. So that kept it cool. And as long as we keep showing that we're staying relevant and stuff, I mean, we're going to keep them excited. But I got to hurry up on that one. So
yeah, but one thing that I liked was your counter offer.
Oh, yeah.
What did you counter them?
What did
you gave them a percentage or something like that? You wanted them to take over the Pineapple Ninjas.
Oh, I mean, if I'm going to leave, I was like, are you going to try to be involved like Shark Tank style and take over? Because why do the whole show if you already know what I can do or what we're doing and where we're getting into and stuff? So, but I don't think I had the leverage to get answers to all those things at that time.
But didn't hurt to try.
Hell no, it didn't.
Didn't hurt to try.
Nah.
Closed mouth don't get fed. We say that all the time.
I was like, man, they're gonna give me a check. And
what are they gonna say? No.
They're like, nah, that ain't that type of show, bud. Like, you gotta go in there and compete. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do all that. I'm like,
you interchanneled your Shark Tank.
Yeah, you think we can do like a
give you a percentage, guys?
Yeah, like let's just skip the whole. It was called. I'm not even gonna say what it was called, but it was a Ramsay show, right? And it was airing right after the Super Bowl, which would have been awesome, right? I would have bought.
Dude, you would have been a character. They would have just kept you.
Oh man, dude. Yeah, and they would tell me like, you're gonna be partnered up with capable chefs, some to balance off the teams, right? And I was like, pues está bien, I mean, I'm a smart guy también, so I'll pick up on it. We'll still throw it down. I think we can win. In my own head, they're gonna pick somebody from somewhere else that's like a.
You're delusional, but I like that.
Hey,
you have to be delusional.
Well, it's a group project, I'm not gonna be. They would probably think I'm the guy who's gonna do the least because I don't have that Michelin star. All these guys that we were with, I'm like, all right, that's pretty cool. So I think we're going to be the underdogs, And I was going to be like, I just started. I'm just a food trucker,
Yeah. So how old were you when you first started?
Food trucking?
Yeah.
Why you ask that?
Because I want to, my next question.
I don't want them to measure
me
up.
Okay. Well,
I was 30.
You're 30. So what would you tell your 30-year-old self now that you've been through this? Like 7-8 years experience.
That's what I would tell them. Let's go.
Let's
go. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah. I wanted to give up a bunch of times, bro. Nobody would give me the money I was asking for the food truck. I was selling it for at some point I think like $15,000 because I was just exhausted. Couldn't handle the emotions of like missing out on my daughter. Like it would hit me weird at the time. I'm not saying I'm the best dad or the most involved, but at that moment in time, like it was just so many things that were not going right. Nothing in the middle to get me distracted or anything like that, right? Just nobody cared enough about food trucking to say, oh, okay, that's a good deal on a food truck. Versus now, it's like, oh, wow, it's a good deal on a food truck. So, yeah, I gave up a bunch of times, mentally checked out a billion times. That's why there's no one will miss the birthdays I missed without the Royal. I would miss them and I would miss them. I wasn't there calling to explain. It was like, it's a weekend thing in the summer. Where am I going to be? There's nothing you can do to change my mind. And I missed some important things, funerals and stuff. So when I get people who tell me that they're serious about this, and then they're bitching about, I met la wife. I'm like, brother, what the hell are we doing? Is it your dream or your wife? Like what is it? And that's where you start seeing like, pues por eso they think like a girl, in a sense. Not in a girl, but like careful. You got to be aggressive. You got to be a shark if you're not in a good situation. And I'm not saying, there's girls that are dogs. Like my team was mostly of girls. I'm seeing... Not tenacious, not feminine, nothing like that. I'm saying you got to be tenacious, whether you're a boy or a girl. You got to be a dog, and you can't care. You can, And you know what? If you wanna be there, then you get your shit together faster. And I couldn't do that. I was super disorganized, so I couldn't get my shit together faster. So it's not everybody is gonna go through this long missing out stuff. You might not even have to miss out if you lock in sooner, right? Cut out distractions. I was still trying to stay relevant in a crowd of people that I don't even mess with anymore. Made that mistake, right?
Well, you outgrew them.
Yeah, you outgrew emotionally. I mean, financially,
Both.
there's a bunch of them killing it too. But the thing is, just the things that we were locked in for and stuff, they didn't align, right? Like, bro, my sense of urgency is like, I'm about to lose it all times 10 versus you just had a bad weekend. Yeah, but it's just different, right? I had friends that were out of my league, I'll say it like that, right? So I had to just come back to earth and be like, yo, dude, like, you're not committed. You don't really give a shit. Like, if you did, you wouldn't make excuses to take a Saturday off. You're tired. Why? You're wasting motions in the damn truck. Get your shit together instead of carrying one box at a time. Get a fucking dolly. You'll carry 10 boxes at a time. Like, those things that I really had to, like, okay, where's this energy going, right? To focus it on what it really needed to be used to is like the best thing that I would tell someone. Like, you're gonna win if you understand that these are what the things that it might take some time, you know? And for me, I was just obsessed with it. When I would miss something, I'm like, man, if I'm going to go and take care of this party, I'm going to go kill it. Give them the best time of their life because I just missed all this. Now my kid's 10 and she's as old as almost the business. And that's it. In 5-6 years, like it's all just poof. So for me to not retain something from all that was no va a jalar, you know? I'm not going to be very happy mentally, emotionally when I get older. So right now, the trip that we're on is very fun. We're able to share it. My family enjoys a lot of the events that I go to. Coda's been fantastic. UT's been hospitable as heck. UTRGV, working with them has been a joy. I love showing up, working with them. So it makes me feel like I didn't waste my time, and I'm getting those days back little by little. But inevitably, growth won't come without sacrifice. And it's going to be he or she, right, who holds on the longest, you know, like in anything, right? But you just got to keep showing up and don't let other people make you feel bad. Your girlfriend, your wife, your mom, your dad, that, hey, don't know, you know, you've been missing them out. Do you think I want to miss out on that? Come on, bro.
Yeah.
If you know, and like my mom and dad are like super gangsters. I love you guys because they never made me feel, they would remind me like, you know, but I never felt like sidetracked from anything that they would tell me that I'm not in or whatever. And I made time as best as I could, but I think that kept me youthful. Otherwise I'd be a lot older looking. But seclusion, lots of podcasts, just enjuagándome my brain with just the toxic positivity instead of the rap songs and all that. We already know all the fucking songs. But eventually you have to create that surrounding for yourself. And pues that's what I did. If you want to see results that other people won't, you got to do shit that other people won't.
All right. So where can they find you at?
At the beach.
No, but social media.
You can find me at Jerry Leal or Pineapple Ninjas.
El Jerry.
El Jerry Leal. At El Jerry Leal.
All right, guys. That about does it for another episode with Hot Take with Mr. H. Thank you so much, Jerry. We'll be looking forward to more of your shenanigans and all your stories, and we'll be in touch.
Most definitely. And don't forget, if you owe Gaspar, call him up. Thank you.
Hey, all right, brother.
You're a real one, brother.
Thank you.